When I first heard about the Summerbell Reading Method, I was intrigued. When I saw it in practice, I was blown away. I had never seen anything like it before.
My first thoughts when I saw the Summerbell program was excitement. I just instantly thought of like so many kids that could benefit from it.
What I loved about Hillary's work and the things that she had thought about was that it was presenting text in a different way.
I've never seen a tool that supports non-traditional readers in a way that the Summerbell Reading Method does.
I've been in the field of education for 22 years now. I've been trained in so many different programs. This is so unique. It's just a different way to learn.
Students are showing improvement with their decoding, their fluency, their attention to the details, and just in general, their confidence in how they feel about reading.
I feel like all the different strategies I've used trying to teach children how to read, it was like all combined in one.
I really like the universal design of Summerbell. It approaches so many different reading styles and works for so many different types of learners.
Being a teacher, it's our responsibility to shape a curriculum or shape material for that child to learn. It's not about that child adapting to what's the standard.
I love the fact that kids can approach it independently and how it does not take away from any of the biological or the orthographic work that we've been doing.
It slows them down to be able to really pay attention to what's visually presented to them in a much more comfortable manner.
Right away, after a few sessions, their fluency improved tremendously.
We see improvements in their comprehension of the text. We hear improvements in their prosody, in their expression, in their rate and fluency.
The good readers are constantly exposing themselves to words, the parts of words, and those prefixes and suffixes that help you become a good reader and comprehender. The readers who struggle avoid words.
You see them more open to engaging with text.
The great thing with Summerbell is the kids are increasing the amount that they are actually reading, and that can start to close the gap between the non-readers and the readers.
When the students turn the text into the arc, I feel like it's life-changing for them.
They've become much more confident in reading out loud, in being willing to attack multisyllabic words.
Especially with struggling readers, getting the words off the page takes everything they've got.
Parents contact us and they say, like, my child really needs help. They're struggling with decoding, they're falling behind, and they just don't realize how intelligent they actually are.
What Summerbell does is gives that confidence to try.
When I showed it to a student I'd been working with for years who had dyslexia, her face just lit up, just seeing the text in this arc.
You can almost see like a light bulb going off, saying like, wow, this is what my brain needs. This is exactly how I'm going to be the most successful.
They're going to read more fluently. They're going to remember the words because they're not struggling so hard with decoding, exhausting their cognitive capacity.
They're able to decode so many more words, so it's unbelievable how much their comprehension has like skyrocketed.
They're not flying down the line. They're slowing down and looking at each word and the parts of the word. And that's really helping their comprehension.
Let's say there's a 5th grader reading on a kindergarten or 1st grade level. Immediately you see they just feel so bad about themselves, like, I'm reading 1st grade material. When they put the word helper on, they're reading the small words and then they read it as one word, and all of a sudden their confidence strengthens because they see these big words they're reading.
Using the word helper, going vertical as opposed to horizontal, is another wonderful piece because it shows the syllabication.
When they break up the word and they read it, they're able to like actually understand what's going on in the story.
Some of them start to like be able to break down the words without even having to hit the word helper. They are able to see the patterns because it's not just this constant flow of letters. They are not skipping lines.
They can pull apart the syllables while reading text that's above or even at their reading level.
As a learning specialist, I spend a lot of my time proctoring or scribing for students with differentiated needs.
If a student chooses to write in the arc so that way he or she can read their paper to themselves, by themselves, independently, they can transform it right back into linear text to turn in, just like everybody else.
When they're typing into Summerbell, you see them slow down. You see them being thoughtful about the words they're choosing, and you see them engage differently with how their sequencing of ideas is going. To have them be able to put their ideas from their mind typing into the computer is not just going to help them on a kinesthetic level, which we know is true, but it helps them own their own learning. And isn't that what we all as humans want to do? We want to be independently able.
I'm using books with these students that are at their grade level.
Where one child might sit next to another child, one might have it linear and the other one might have it an arc, but it's still the same material. It doesn't matter how you're getting that material in, you're still reading it.
Most recently, I was working with a high school student. Because he's reading on the computer, he just feels that no one else in the room is seeing what he's doing that may be different, and he's proud that what he's reading is the same text, just presented in a way for him.
You're always limited to the tools that you have, and so you're still pushing tools that are outdated and standardized to a different learning style than who these kids are.
These children have the opportunity to read the text that their fellow peers are reading.
Parents are always sort of like, I want my son or daughter to be a reader. I don't want them to have to constantly rely on adaptive technology and have to hear it first. The great thing with Summerbell is that the students are still actively engaged in the task of reading. Especially with the Chrome extension, they can use the Summerbell tools to reformat the text, and then they can go back and look at the graphs, the pictures, anything else, because it's right next door. Or if that's all too distracting for a student, you can slide the Summerbell text over and have the entire page just be the words.
It can be used on the phone, a tablet, a laptop, or desktop. There's a Chrome extension, a website, email. Students can write their papers in the ARC. It truly makes it accessible in all areas.
When I imagine the possibilities with the Summerbell tools, it's endless.
Hillary has created something beautiful and functional.
I just see this program helping so many people.
It's going to be transformative as it's used in tutoring sessions, in classrooms, in people's independent lives.
Just one more tool that so many teachers can have.
We will give back the joy of reading, not just to students who are learning, but to adults who might have given up or disengaged.
I feel very, very fortunate to have been able to work with Hillary and the team of teachers and the software developer. It's been a wonderful journey, and I see no reason this is going to stop.